Hey guys, so this is obviously Fuji GFX 100 the second or 2. Like I mentioned in my very untechnical review, the EVF on this camera is quite a bit better than on the S and on the older models. And obviously, one of the biggest advantages of the GFX line is that because it doesn't have a, because it has an in-camera shutter, you can use all kinds of different lenses for it. So old manual lenses in really anything. And with this new finder, I found that it makes it a lot easier to do manual focus. Actually, it works really, really well. You can just punch in it a little bit. It's really easy. Oftentimes I don't even have to do that. So that made me want to look into that. And so what I'm going to do today, I'm going to compare a couple of lenses that I have, some that I borrowed from my friends. And I'm going to compare those lenses to my pretty much go-to lens on the GFX. Which I've tried for many years now, and this is the kit lens 70-35, the small cheap kit lens. It's not that fast, it's tiny, and it works fantastic. I've had the 32-64, which is a great lens. Really liked it, but I was always a little short on the long end. And I've had the 45-100, which is an absolutely phenomenal lens. But I did not really like the tighter wide end. And it's obviously a lot bigger than this lens. So this lens has been absolutely fantastic to me. I look at everything else and I always come back to this lens. Especially with this camera, for a lot of my work, I have the 20-35 zoom, which is incredible, and I use that a lot for work, for architecture and stuff. But for people, I actually prefer this lens even to the 45-100 because I really. Even with this lens, I turn all the sharpening off, and I shoot, and it's great. Again, the 45-100 is fantastic. It's incredibly sharp. It has incredible detail, and it's a great lens. But every time when I switch quickly, I find myself wanting the wider end a little more. So I'm going to compare these lenses to this lens. And I think that's a pretty fair comparison. A lot of these lenses, like this is the, I'm going to go through it here. This is the Pentax 55, this is the 105. These are for the Pentax 6x7, the one, classic camera. These are actually really inexpensive on eBay, I found. So they easily cover the sensor of the GFX. They are, they need an adapter, obviously. So this is the 105, this is the 55, and this is the 150, which already has the adapter on it, which is the TLT, the photodiox TLT rocker. Unfortunately, I bought this on Amazon, and I didn't really notice, but it has the release missing, and it has the screw missing to actually tighten the tilt shift to actually lock it in place. So this is I had to buy this adapter because they didn't have just the tube, just the dumb one. So what I will actually do is I will actually do another in-depth review on the tilt shift once I get the new one. I'm gonna send this back. Just for this, it'll be fine because I'm not really using the tilt shift. So look at this as the lens review part 1. So this is the 150. Then I have a Nikon 85mm, classic 35mm, a Nikon 35 1.4, And then I have a Voigtländer 58 millimeter, and this is the, I don't have the Nikon 50 millimeter, so this is kind of this kind of fits in between there. This is the most modern of these lenses. I think it might be an Apple. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm expecting this to be pretty sharp. And this is just a Kip-on GFX to Nikon adapter, really cheap on Amazon. So I'm going to look at all these. I don't expect any of these to really be extremely sharp or detailed, especially the 6x7 lenses, because obviously they're made for a much bigger sensor film area. So they don't really have to resolve that much for that camera. I am more looking at how they draw, characteristics, bokeh obviously, although none of these are, well, this is 2.4, this is an f4, which is obviously the 55 on the Pentax is kind of a wide angle. And this is a 2.8. With the Nikon, I'm looking at, do they cover full frame? I mean, do they cover the sensor here? And if they do, how does it work? I mean, obviously these are 1.4, both of these lenses, so that is, as is the Voigtländer, so that is like tiny depth of field. I don't even know if that's really doable with this sensor anyway, because that's, I mean. And obviously the kit lens is a 4.5 to 5.6. 4.5 on the wide end to 5.6, which is usually what I shoot. I usually shoot 5.6, f8, a lot of 11 even. So I'm gonna shoot these wide open to see how they perform wide open, because obviously that's how I would use them, but I will give them a fair chance and compare them at f4 and 5.6 to see how they can compare with that. Obviously, none of these lenses I would really take out to shoot at f8 or f11, because if I need more depth of field, I would probably, I'm not sure I would go with these lenses, unless they really draw beautifully and I'm super convinced. So I brought all these images into Capture One. Sharpening is turned off on all of them. This is the first image. This is the Pentax 55 shot wide open. It's a nice bokeh here. Obviously, you know, it has a look. It has a look. This is the center wide open. Yeah, it's definitely, there's some blooming going on here. Sharpness is pretty okay actually. If I look at this here, this resolution looks to be pretty good. Yeah, it draws pretty nice too. So this is wide open. This is one stop down. Well, it seems like focus is a little back on this one. Still seems some blooming going on with the blue there. This is another stop down, and here I'm expecting kind of, oh wow, okay. This is actually a little motion blur because I shoot this handheld. Now the funny thing of course about these is that anyone who's ever shot with the Pentax 6.7 knows that the mirror slap on that camera is brutal. And these lenses on the Fuji should all, the IBIS should work. I'm wondering if, yeah, this is, but this looks good. I'm actually surprised. Let's go to the far shot. This is wide open. Again, on all these shots, I focused on pretty much this part of the tree right here. Yeah, it's okay, wide open. Let's see this. This is stopped down a little bit. wondering if these longer lenses, I did shoot these handheld on purpose for a simple reason, because I don't think I would use these on a tripod. These were shot at f400. It's not bright today. ISO 400. So, but I'm still expecting to shoot these handheld. So, okay, let's see the P105. This is the Pentax 105. I went back a little bit to get a little more of the tree. I would say this is the portrait range. This is wide open. Yeah, there's blooming going on. There's some... Not necessarily bad. This looks pretty nice. Let's see, stop down. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, so this is the 105. Stop down, one stop and another stop. Yeah, and there's a little bit of motion blur in this, which is interesting. Let me see what's the shutter speed on that? That should be recorded 1/10 of a second. 100, yeah, 1/10. So that I usually I think that I can usually handhold this. So that surprises me actually. This is another stop down. This is 1/50th. Yeah, there's some focus things going on. The shots look pretty nice. If I compare, this is 2 or 3 stops down. If I compare these images, yeah, you can see the fall off. I mean, the fall of this, I have to say that I actually really like these. Let's see the longer shot. A little, yeah, not too sharp there. One stop down. This looks pretty good. Again, I mean, these lenses are not necessarily, I'm not looking at these lenses for ultimate sharpness. I just want to see how sharp they are. This is another stop down. This is at a 70th. Okay, I usually can handhold a 70th, but I guess not with these Pentax lenses. Well, this is a 40th, and I somehow did better here. Would probably not shoot that at a 40th handheld, but I have shot that. Okay, so this is the 150th. This is the 150. Obviously, fall off is pretty quick on this. It looks really nice. I'm gonna have to shoot this again with people because I want to see. I mean, this would be a classic portrait lens. Oh, it looks nice. I do like that. This would be, let's see, yeah, it's a little, I feel like the resolution on this one is not the best. And another stop down. And it's probably f8 and a 50th. I mean, this is something I probably wouldn't use this lens for because if I want to get a lot of depth of field, if I want to get sharpness, I wouldn't be using a vintage lens on an adapter manual focus. This is the long shot. Yeah, not. I think this lens doesn't seem to. Just doesn't seem to resolve that much because this is the image zoomed out. I mean, if I compare this to the, let's see, this would be the 55. I mean, this is a much wider area, and if I zoom in on this, this is the one that's not. Let's see this one here. If I compare this to the 55. I mean, that's pretty close, but a much wider shot. This is zoomed in all the way. So that's still interesting. So let's go to this is the Voigtländer. Okay, so this is a modern lens. I mean, it's an old design, but oh wow. That is some serious blooming at 1.4 wide open. Whoa. Let's see, I stopped down, it's going away, but the fall off on this lens, wow, things get pretty soft, pretty fast. I mean, this is what I would call dreamy down here. So this should be 1.4, this should be 2.8. Yeah, this at 2.8 is nice and crisp. That might be the sharpest lens I've seen so far. I did stop further down just to see. Yeah, this is sharp. Still has nice bokeh even there, and this. Okay, yeah. So if I stop this lens down, obviously it gets very nice and solid. It loses its look a little bit, obviously. Let me compare this to the Fuji, which I shot there. So that would be around, I'm just gonna go to this one. Wide open. So this is the Fuji wide open, which would be around 5.6. So these look, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This is the Fuji. It's just lots of detail. Lots of detail. Really nice drawing. Let me see what this, how this holds more. This is probably 5.6, and it's probably 5.6 as well. Interesting. This is the longer shot. Let me compare this. This is the little tighter shot. This is probably at 70. And I think that that's the Fuji lens at 70, and that's 5.6. It does. Some people call that nervous. It doesn't really bother me. And at 70, I don't really need my lenses to be just incredibly crisp. Okay, let's go back to the Voigtländer. This is wide open. Okay, there's some serious blooming here. This is stopped down. This is, yeah, it's soft. This is definitely picking up. I would say this is better than the Pentax lenses. Yeah, wow, okay, this is sharp. I mean, this is definitely sharp. I would say this is probably 1.4, this is f4. And then we have 5.6. So the Voigtländer at 4 or 5.6 are very nice and sharp. So this is the Nikon. Woo! Okay. That is definitely a look. goes away once you stop it down a little bit. Oh, it's better. And there's definitely vignetting going on this as well. So yes, so these corners are gone. I mean, it's an effect, I guess, but not something that I would be interested in. Stopping down, yeah, it gets a little better, but still. Let's see how this. Yeah, I mean, this is not something that I would be interested in. This is definitely a look. I mean, this is a vintage look that yeah, maybe it works. Okay, this is the Nikon 85 wide open. Okay, not really that great. Stop down a little bit. Let's see, 85. It's not bad. It looks pretty good. If we compare this to, let's say I guess the closest thing would be the 55. This would be the 105 Pentax. Yeah, the Pentax looks better. What do you see? I mean, the Pentax. Oh, this is wider open. This would be wider open. Yeah. I get rid of this. This is the Nikon 85. So as always, these lenses are definitely usable. A little stop down. Yeah, the corners are. That would definitely be effect. Let's see, but this looks really good. So I mean, that is extremely usable. That would be probably a 2.8. And yeah, I don't see any real problems with it. Again, all this is unsharpened, so this could easily be sharpened up. Let's see it. 4 and probably 5, 6. Does it get a lot better? Not really. So this would be. Let me go to the Nikon. This would be the Nikon 70. Yeah, it's not really. Let me go to a sharper. I mean, this is the Fuji 70mm, and this is the Nikon 85. This is the Fuji wide open, so if you stop that down to F or 11, it'll definitely sharpen up more. But that looks very usable. Obviously, the corners are in a different league. Let me get the Pentax into this specific comparison as well, because I'll do the 105 Pentax, which is not the same frame, but it's which one would be the 105? I guess that would be this one. Yes, because the difference here is the corners on the Pentax are totally fine. The corners of the Nikon are, you know, washed out at that point. The Fuji is fine everywhere. So once we zoom in here, oh wow. Let me get rid of this one. Let me do this one. Oh, well, that one didn't work either. Let me see this one. Well, I guess this one is the Pentax wide open. This one is the Nikon, and this one is the Fuji. So yes, this looks, this is the, I would say this is the best, but in terms of color, it's actually remarkable how close they all are. Not that much difference. Obviously the corners are gone in this one. I'm surprised that all these lenses really, I mean obviously the Pentax cover easily, but I'm surprised that the Nikon lenses cover that well. The 35 didn't really cover that well. The Voigtländer covered perfectly. And let me bring the Voigtländer into this one again. And that would be this one. That would be this one, I believe. And the Voigtländer might actually be the sharpest one at that point. And I believe that one is f4. So yeah, that is I guess not really surprising. It's this looks good too. So this was pretty interesting, I would say. I'm really impressed with how the Pentax lenses performed. I think I remember trying the Pentax lenses on the GFX 50 once, a while ago when I had that camera, and I wasn't really impressed with it. I don't know if it's the sensor, the combination of the sensor with these lenses. I just felt like it didn't really give me anything that I could use or that would make sense to deal with manual focus. And again, using this EVF makes it so much easier than the old EVF, because it's just so much easier to focus. Yeah, these lenses are, I have to say, they're great. It was really hard to get this adapter on, and now I have it on here again. I had to like wedge it off here. The lenses look great. I really like the color. I really like the way they drew the textures. I was a little disappointed, to be honest, with the Nikon lenses, the 35. I mean, I didn't expect miracles. Obviously, the edges are pretty bad. It's definitely an effect lens. I mean, that's the only way to describe this. It needs to be, shut down to about 4, 5, 6. Which again, at that point, do I really want to deal with this? It's small, but not really. So this was surprising to me. The 85 is probably would probably be more interesting for maybe portraits or something. Again, it's surprising. I think if I would have to choose, I would probably, if I would have to choose between these two, I would probably go with the Pentax, which is really surprising to me. That I didn't expect that. The Voigtländer is a great little lens. Like I said, it's the newest one. It performs more like a modern lens. It was obviously overcast today, so I didn't get to try out flare and sun stars and all the stuff shooting into the light, which is stuff that I do a lot. So I'm gonna try this again, but I'm gonna focus on the Pentax lenses, I think, a little more. Like I said, this is part one of this test. Obviously, I'm going to do another in-depth review on this tilt shift once I get the new one. That really has quite a bit of movement, and yeah, this is really interesting. It's pretty inexpensive too. And yeah, these lenses, I looked it up on eBay. They usually, you can find a lot of lenses for around $100, and these are great lenses. So that surprised me. The other thing is that I still really like this 3570 GF. I think this is a no-brainer for anyone who has the GFX system. It's small, it's light, it's cheap, it performs absolutely fantastic. I've had a lot of the GF fixed focus lenses, the pancake lens, and they're great, they're fantastic, they work well. I just always find myself wanting a little wider, or maybe going a little in a little bit, and it's just so easy with this lens. And so this gives really clean images, nice and sharp. Like I said, I don't really do much sharpening anyway, but these combination of these really add to the lineup in terms of a little bit of character, great color, and yeah, it's fun to shoot and play with that, and I'm looking forward to really digging into the tilt shift and taking all these lenses out into the sun and seeing how they perform there. I don't know what the coating is on these lenses. They look pretty. Anyway. So we'll see about that. Maybe I'll change my mind about the performance, but so far, so good. Thanks for watching, and yeah, to be continued.